Hello everybody, this is Albert with Green Tea House. I hope you're doing well today. Today we're going to talk about what is the healthiest green tea. Now before we begin, if you haven't been here to our tea shop in New Braunfels, Texas, in a little touristy area called Green, come visit us. We're halfway between San Antonio and Austin. Also subscribe and hit the notification bell. That just helps with the algorithm so we can grow this channel, and post a comment. So this is a common question because a lot of people know that green tea is healthy, and so they want to drink the healthiest green tea. Now, let's back it up a little. There's 6 families or categories that come from the tea plant. If you're not familiar with this, the tea plant is called Camellia sinensis. There's 2 varieties of it, Camellia sinensis, otherwise known as the China bush, and Camellia sinensis assamica, otherwise known as the Assam bush. The majority of tea that you drink from the 6 families are going to be the China bush. The assamica bush is predominantly going to be from black teas, especially low inferior grade black teas, and then also from pu, or the fermented category. So there's 6 families that come from the tea plant: green, yellow, white, oolong, black, and dark teas, the most famous being pu, or the fermented category. Now, we'll use the moniker tea when it comes to peppermint, chamomile, cinnamon, all these things, but those are tisanes. Those are not tea because they don't come from the tea plant. So let's look at the tea plant. Out of the 6 families, green and yellow are the healthiest. Why? Because they're 0% oxidized or broken down. So they're the most pristine. So they pluck the tea leaves and then they're going to kilgreen it, which means essentially freezes it in its state, in perpetuity. And in Japan, they're going to kilgreen it by steaming it. That's why the Japanese greens tend to have a more umami, oceanic, grassy taste. The Chinese do it by frying it in a wok, therefore they have a more roasted taste. Green tea is the healthiest because it has the highest amount of antioxidants. Antioxidants fight against free radical damage in the body, or otherwise known as bad things happening to the body, and it will help with that and minimize that and fight against it. So fight against inflammation, fight against cancer and whatnot. So green and yellow is also 0% oxidized, but it has a non-enzymatic oxidation to it that makes it look yellow and taste yellow. I'll try to remember to put banners up here on what is green tea, what is yellow tea. And if you're new to the channel, I know we have episodes like, we're on episode 200 and something, scroll back to episode 1 and just start at the basics. So green tea has the highest of everything that makes tea the healthiest beverage in the planet. So within the green tea world, you could get confused, and it's similar to wine. Like if you go to the grocery store and just get green tea bags, what does that mean? You're just like getting the equivalent of low-grade $2 chuck red wine from Trader Joe's. So within green tea, just like within black tea, there's going to be cultivars or cultivated varieties. So like in the wine world, you'll have a Merlot, you'll have a Cab, you'll have a Malbec. These are all red wines, but they're different tasting because of the terroir and because of other things. So in the green tea world, yeah, you'll have a Dragon Well, you'll have a Gunpowder, you'll have a Green Snail, you'll have Sencha, Matcha, all these things. So which is the healthiest? Well, the number one thing to look at is teas that come from the buds. The buds are the babies of the plant. The buds have the highest amount of antioxidants, the highest amount of L-theanine. L-theanine is an amino acid that you only find in tea, not in coffee, that causes relaxation, yet at the same time focus. Also has the highest amount of caffeine, because the buds have more caffeine because caffeine serves as a pesticide. So bugs will try to nibble on the tea plant, and so the babies are like, I don't want to be eaten, so I'm just growing, so they have the most. So any tea that comes from the buds is prized, is going to be the highest quality. So what you want to look at is green teas that come from the buds. Most green teas, like a lot of tea, will come from the bud set. The bud set's going to be a bud and 2 leaves underneath it. That's good quality. A lot of teas from Camellia sinensis will come from mature leaves, like oolongs, maybe pu. But if you're looking at healthiest green tea, you want to look at ones that come from the buds. Now, also you want to look at the plant when it's shaded. So when the Camellia sinensis plant is shaded, it's going to increase the chlorophyll, increase the antioxidants, increase the L-theanine, increase the caffeine. So these are going to be super prized. So in answer to this question, what are the healthiest green teas? You're going to find 2, and they're both going to be Japanese greens. One you've heard of, one you haven't. One is matcha, and one is gyokuro. And I'll put banners up here for these because we sell both of them. Matcha is pretty well known because coffee shops will do matcha lattes. But both of these teas, what they do is before they pluck the leaves and kilgreen it by steaming it, they're going to shade the tea plant with tarps for 3 weeks. This increases all the chlorophyll and everything I mentioned. Then they're going to pluck it. Now, with both of them, they're only going to use the buds. They're going to remove the stems. And the difference between the matcha and the gyokuro is that matcha will then be grounded into a powder. Like we used to drink tea about 800 years ago. All tea was powdered back then, before it was loose leaf. And then that's why matcha looks like a powder. And ideally, if you're going to drink matcha, you want to drink it straight, ceremonial matcha with water. Don't matcha latte it up because it gets a lot of sugar. Develop a taste for matcha. Some like to call it swamp water. It's an acquired taste. Gyokuro is loose leaf. And if you ever smell gyokuro is very umami. It's very sweet, but not like sweet. It's like a natural sweet. It's very oceanic. It's very, it's hard to describe it. It's going to have a really good gyokuro. Will have like a radioactive green to it. It is just amazingly good. It is the tribute tea for Japanese emperors. In other words, like the tea that would be given to the emperor because it's just high quality. So gyokuro is loose leaf, so you would infuse it in warm water and then drink it like the typical tea, whereas matcha, you're going to have to whip it up in the chaozen and then drink it that way. But those two are the healthiest green teas on the planet. No offense to Korean green teas, Vietnamese green teas, Chinese green teas, because those two are shaded. Because they're shaded for several weeks, it increases all the health benefits that you would find in the tea plant. So if money is no object, you want to drink a lot of good quality matcha and good quality gyokuro. Guys, post in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, take care. God bless.